From the moment I was born, I didn't have the same childhood as other kids because both my parents weren't with me. You see, my parents divorced when my bio mom was pregnant with me. She was so angry with the fact that my dad took custody of my older brother that she kept me as a secret and never told my dad about me. It was like this until I turned 3 years old, when I saw a man shouting at my mom, telling her how much of a liar she was, and asking, "Where's my daughter?" After that argument, my mom told me to get in the car with the man along with 2 other strange men. I began to cry and even hit the man I was sitting beside. I actually cried so much that I cried myself to sleep and woke up in a strange house. The first person I saw was the man that was shouting at my mom. He said, "You're finally awake, sweet pie." At that moment, I screamed out of fear and confusion, but he quickly calmed me down, saying, don't worry, it's me, your father." I froze, because the only person I ever called dad was with my mom, but he explained to me that he was my biological father, and that the other man was my bio mother's boyfriend. My bio mom had been lying to me the entire time. That same day, my father introduced me to my older brother. He was 2 years older than I was, and he looked just like me, but taller. All of this was new to me, but I was able to accept it and grew closer to them both. After a few months of staying with my dad, I'd find myself crying some nights thinking about my mom. I wondered if she worried or missed me as I did her. I was happy to have my brother and father, but I wanted a mother. On my 4th birthday, I told my dad to invite her because I missed her a lot, and even though he didn't want to, he did it for me. I waited in anticipation to see her after months apart. I imagined her seeing me with a gift in hand and rushing over to hug me. I imagined being wrapped in her arms as she wished me a happy birthday, but she never came. Her excuse was one of her friends was getting married. Every year, I'd invite her to my birthday parties, and every year, she would come up with another excuse. She did show up on my 5th birthday for a brief moment, but I think that was out of guilt or shame rather than actually wanting to be there. Even though I was loved by everyone, my dad, my brother, my grandparents, my aunts, and uncles, I still felt sad knowing that my own mother didn't love or care about me. My brother tried to help once by saying, "She doesn't love any of us. She only cares about herself." I couldn't help myself but defend her, saying he didn't know what he was talking about, eventually fighting with him over it. I knew he was trying to help me, but I didn't want to hear that about the only mother I had. Even if she wasn't present, and maybe didn't care about me, at least she was someone I'd picture when I'd hear the word mom. A few months after my 5th birthday, I learned what the word mother really meant. It began one day when a woman came to our house who I'd not seen before. My dad told us that she's his friend and introduced us. As she came close, I was nervous as I'd not seen her before, so I greeted her with a lot of hostility and disinterest. I mean, the only woman I'd really had in my life was my mom, and I wasn't really looking for another. The more time that passed, the more my dad's friend would come to the house, and I could really tell she was making an effort to be nice to me, and I actually liked it. It was something I hadn't experienced before. She was friendly, caring, calm, and she loved to play with me and my brother, and would always tell me how beautiful and special I was. Just like, well, a mom would. In fact, she quickly started to act more like a mom than my real mom did. But before long, my dad told us that she was now his new girlfriend, and this really came to me as a shock. "Your new girlfriend? You told us she was just a friend. And now what? You think it is okay to just replace mom with another woman?" I felt betrayed, became confused, and began to hate the idea of them being together. I really started to resent her being with us. How could they think it's okay to replace my mom like this? One night, when she was having dinner with us, everything got too much for me. My emotions took control and I screamed, "You're not my mommy, so leave us alone!" And I ran to my room crying. My dad's girlfriend followed me, and I said, "Just go." Instead of leaving me, she stayed and said, "Listen, honey, I know I'm not your real mom, nor your brother's. I never was, and I never will be. But I love your dad and both of you, and I'm just trying to be there for you. All I need from you is to let me in." The following weeks, I thought about this a lot. I had a woman here who seemed to actually care about me and my family, and I didn't want her to take the place of a mother that didn't bother to contact me or pay any interest in me at all? What was I thinking? I had a woman here who was trying to fill a role in my life I had not had before, and I was throwing it back in her face. The more I looked back on everything, the more I saw she just wanted the best for me. It was now my first day of school, and I was terrified. She came with me and told me that everyone would be lucky to be my friend and have me in their lives, as lucky as she is to have me. These were the words that I needed to hear. I felt a warmth come over me. I ran to her and hugged her and said in her ear, "Thank you." From this day on, our relationship became stronger and stronger. She really was everything that was missing from my life, and I started to love her just like a real mom. Fast forward 3 years, and her and my dad got married. I had never felt happier. I was over the moon with joy. I had a real family again. Some years have passed, and now I have a younger brother and sister around me. Her and my dad love us all equally, and she would choose us before herself in every situation. I now call her mom, and she introduces me to people as her daughter. She showed me what a real mother's love is, a love that my bio mom never gave to me. Of course, I'm still in contact with my bio mom. I mean, she gave birth to me, so will always be part of my life. So I visit her sometimes. But there is a piece missing from our relationship, a connection that isn't there that I now associate with the word mother. You see, I used to think you could only call someone mother if they had given birth to you. I struggled to let anyone else assume that role, and became confused when my mind would tell me anything different. But over the years, I learned that the word mother doesn't have to mean someone who gave birth to you, but more someone who is there for you when you're down, cares for you, looks after your best interests, and loves you like you are their own. Having learned this means that every time I hear the word mom, I can picture someone who actually cares about me and feel loved by a real mother. And I'll be forever thankful to her kind soul